I hit start streaming. Did it go live? Okay, I guess I went live a little early today, guys. So if you're here, we're doing a beef and broccoli stir fry today. And we're going to do something really simple that really helps the meat taste better. We are going to do what's called velveting. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda to 1 pound of meat. And then we are going to add 2 tablespoons of water. We are going to take our glove. And before we actually get into this, I'm going to minimize that. Hey, Christy, there you are. We've been worried about you, or not worried, but just kind of wondering. I apologize for all the days I couldn't get here. I think we finally got it figured out, and we also have a come home date for IT guys, so that's a nice thing for us. The situation is ongoing for the reason that he's out there, but it is what it is. I don't want to bring everybody down who might be watching, but just an FYI, and I'm just going to say this because sometimes you take the easy way, right? And you can buy beef that's already cut up for stir fry, or you can buy beef that's cut up for tacos, use it for stir fry. And I just want you to know that sometimes that's what you find in the reduced section, is the pre-cut stuff. So that's why I have pre-cut beef today, because it was on sale and it was already cut up, so I thought, heck, why not? So yeah, I had a few days that were such a mess, and I apologize for that. We've got some serious tech issues to deal with when IT guy gets home. So we've got that all mixed up, and that's just going to sit for a little bit. And while that sits, we're going to prep our veggies. And I know it says beef and broccoli, but I'm going to add some extra veggies because, as I've talked about earlier, we're just trying to work some more veg into the diet. That was part of how I lost 35 pounds last year, and we kind of got away from that. So just making everything kind of veg-heavy, if you will. So we're going back to that. And I feel better anyway when I eat a lot of veg. I don't know about anybody else, but and everybody's got the veg that they like and the stuff they avoid, and so, although I know there's some people who they just seem to like almost everything, but I'm not one of those people. I wish I liked more veggies. I like a fair amount of them, but I wish I liked pepper, or I like peppers. I don't like bell peppers, and if they're done well, you know, we use that chipotle chili sauce with the with our barbecue sauce yesterday. Yeah, Mr. 513, he liked that a lot. So he would eat things as spicy as I could make them. I'm not great at that. We go to Thai restaurants and they go 1, 2, 5, and I say 0. I'm a baby. They laugh, but they get it. You know, it's I tell people, when it comes to spice, I'm very white, and I know that. So I have a really sensitive mouth. I wish it wasn't, but I do. As a matter of fact, this is my favorite time of year because I love tomatoes, and I have to lay off tomatoes because I still have an acid sore in my mouth from eating, between the vinegar and the balsamic and the acid in the tomatoes. I'm kind of on a nope, can't do that for a while kick. And I have some beautiful tomatoes that I'm going to have to give away. which is funny because like my son's coming. None of my sons eat tomatoes. None of them. They'll eat like a red sauce or a red gravy if you're, depending on what part of the country you're from and what your ethnicity is. But they'll eat that. But beyond that, tomato-based dishes in general, they love a spaghetti and meatballs, but that's about it. So I like them, and my husband likes them. And I buy them. I grow them and buy them. That's how much I like them in the summertime. I love a nice heirloom tomato, especially with some good burrata. Woo, that's like heaven. And I just found a new dish that I'm going to be having again. And I've never... Artichokes are something that I love that my family isn't in love with. But man, I just found a recipe where they use regular and they season them, but I love the marinated artichokes, so I buy marinated artichokes, and I air fried them the other day, and then you kind of smash them down, and I put Parmesan on that, and then you put it back in and melt the Parmesan, and then what do we do after that? That was it, I guess, because it's already seasoned. So we once that came out of the oven, then I put a nice burrata on there and cut that up, and oh my goodness, was that delicious. It was so good. Okay, I'm going to toss all of this. I got a pound of broccoli here. It was frozen. But I use fresh? Yes, but I had frozen, so that's what we used. And I know sometimes when you get them from a Chinese restaurant, you get them that big, but I'm not a fan. So I'm going to cut it down so that it's more bite-sized. And I adore broccoli, but I don't need it to be... I used to call it trees. Remember, when I was a kid, many moons ago, the only way we got broccoli, my mom got broccoli, was frozen. Except when my dad grew it. And when it was frozen, it was Green Giant in our house, and it was full spears. So I always thought that that's how broccoli looked until we grew it ourselves, was that it looked like trees. And I thought it was pretty cool that we were eating trees. So I actually always liked broccoli. My kids like broccoli too. My kids eat broccoli, they eat asparagus. Not big fans of green beans. So, one of mine really liked salad, the other two did not. But as they grew, their palates got a little more broad, and it didn't hurt that they had friends who were other ethnicities. So my oldest in particular has, actually both of my older two have Indian friends. And so they were exposed to Indian food and really got to like that. And again, my daughter-in-law's half Korean, so I am not going to put a lot of pasta in here. This is great pasta, by the way, if you eat gluten-free. Because sometimes with gluten-free, you miss out on some things, but this has protein. What does that have? A little more. This has protein in it. It's got fiber in it. It's got 20 grams of protein and 13 grams of fiber in like a cup. And like a cup of veggies, because it's made from chickpeas. So, like I said, I'm just not going to add a ton to it because I've got a lot of veggies here, so we'll keep an eye on that and get that down into the water. How's this work out? If I can find it. There she is. It gets soft. soft pretty quick. So it only has to go about 6 to 8 minutes. So down in the water. Everybody's doing their job here, so. But anyway, today I got to go get a blood test. I tried yesterday, but I got there and there were 6 people waiting, and there's only one person in that office, and I get my blood drawn there fairly often, so I was like, I'm not waiting an hour, especially when it's a fasting one. So we'll see what it looks like. I'm going to be, if it's not great even, I'm going to be having a chat with the doctor about giving me 3 more months since we're upping the veg count again. I realized that was a big part of how I lost all the weight last year. Because I said to my husband, I'm like, I hate the fact that I gained weight when you got back. And he's like, I hate the fact that you did that too. So we're hoping that this is going to do it. And it seems to be doing the trick. So I feel better anyway. So, oh dear. Glad you're okay, Joan. Because it is August. That July-August weather in Florida, man. The daily thunderstorm. We used to always go and come down to Florida in February and October. Always loved going there then. And it was like, oh, we went in July. We went for our honeymoon in June, and then when our kids were older, we went in July one time, and I was like, never again, because it rained every single day, and not all day. It's not like how we would get rain here, but it just was so humid and so hot. So, but I'm glad you're back with us, Joan. Loving it. So we are currently just working our way through making all the components of this lovely dish. This one's an easy one, to be honest. Since IT guy's not here, I'm going to make these fairly big. He doesn't like big chunks of onion. So, I forget what I was saying about, we were talking about stealth nutrition. Oh, when I made the turkey meatballs, on Tuesday, I guess it was, I didn't tell Mr. 513 that what was in the meatballs, and he really liked them. And the best part of him really liking them is the fact that my husband does not like sweet potatoes, and there were sweet potatoes in it. And I honestly think that's what kept them so moist. And we don't have sweet potatoes on the regular, so I learned a culinary lesson on that day, because earlier in the day I had baked the sweet potato, and I found out that if a sweet potato has a lot of moisture in it, it's gonna leak all over your oven. So that happened to me. So uh-oh, kabooms. We don't like the kabooms. But anyway, so I fed my husband sweet potatoes, and like he said, you know, now that you say that, it had a funny aftertaste. I'm like, shut up. So we were laughing about it, but yeah, those were that. If you've ever made turkey meatballs, they can be really dry, and I'll tell you, those things were so tender and they were so juicy. I would do that in a heartbeat again, and I really felt like I overcooked some of them, and they were still tender and they were still juicy. So, I don't know about you, but I'm going to reuse, this is from the Napa cabbage I used earlier this week, And I always, if I keep the cabbage like that, I always feel like I gotta cut off the end of it and throw it away. Just, I don't know, it's a thing. And we all have our things, right? So, and if you're not subscribed, please remember to do that. It helps us so much with our goals and all that good stuff. And I am still working on getting us a private subscribers only upcoming stream. I do have some things I have to take care of before we can do that. So I have to be part of the YouTube Partners program, and there's a couple things on the site I need to take care of, or we will not get approved. That I do know. So here's all the veggies we're going to use. I'm going to move that back here. And should be just about done with the pasta there. But before we do that, I'm going to rinse this really quickly. I know it's less than the 30 minutes you're supposed to do, but that's okay. Can't have everything where we just like. Because if you leave that baking soda on there, it'll be bitter. Probably should get a glove on. That was gross. I'll wash my hands. I'll be right back. So. Raw meat, and then we're going to take this, well, we're going to take yours. So, okay. So what's everybody, if you order Chinese, what's your go-to order? Just curious. Okay. We got that dried off pretty well. And now, yeah, wash it again. Wear gloves. But then we add some soy sauce. This is actually one of my go-tos. I love beef and broccoli, but I gotta be so careful now because of soy sauce. This is a little Shaoxing wine. And then we've got some white pepper here. I was talking about this before. I do not like the smell of white pepper, but man, once you put it in a dish, it does so much to elevate the dish. This is some local honey. You could use sugar, you could use brown sugar. I'm just going to use about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of local honey. About a tablespoon of cornstarch. I do have a glove for that. So we're going to take that and nice. Ugh, love it all. I used to like sesame chicken too a lot. That was one of my favorites before I couldn't eat gluten. I used to get sesame chicken a lot. Uh-oh. My gimbal is doing bad things. I have something to replace it if I need it. But let me know if that gets really bad. So we're going to let that marinate for just a few minutes. while we're getting the noodles taken care of. Okay. I'm not going to wash these noodles because I do want them to absorb the flavors that we're going to put in there. I'm going to drain it. I'm going to put it in the pan. And then when we need them, we'll put them. This is my wonderful wok. The thing about stir fries, you want to turn it up. You want to get it hot and you want to get it going. Now, I'm going to be generous with this, and the reason I'm going to do that is because as soon as that gets hot, hey, Ruby! Watch it for it to get all shimmery. Mushu pork, that's a good one. Ooh, shrimp with lobster sauce, nice. I like egg foo young too. That was another one I could eat. I couldn't eat the sauce, but I could eat the egg foo young. So, and then I would make my own sauce for a while there. Okay, looks like we are cooking here. So grab out my handy paddle. I love this thing. Got this at the Asian market. So we're going to cook that up. And we're just going to put like a little crust on it. Get it coated, get it just cooked on the outside. Now, IT guy, he's a fried rice guy. He'll switch it up a little bit. Usually beef fried rice, to be honest. And then he will switch that up between beef, and sometimes he'll get like a combo fried rice with beef and pork and chicken, or beef and pork and shrimp. He likes all of that. But he's a big rice guy. Actually, all my kids are. All my kids love rice. My husband does not like rice, which is hilarious. So, Ruby, we're talking about what's your Chinese order? If you order Asian food, or if it's not Chinese, what else do you order? There's a question. Can I get it all in this one little bowl? I'm gonna make it. Hooray! Some more oil in there. Well, there you go, lo mein noodles. My husband likes lo mein because he's not a fan of rice. So there you go. Alright, I'm going to pop some carrots in there because that got really hot really fast. Need this. Ow! It took the longest. Popped on me. Rude. Okay, really, turn that down. I don't usually have to turn my wok down. Today, we do. Okay. I don't want the stuff on the bottom to burn. Now we're going to pop the onions in there too, just to cool it down a little bit. I really want to cool it down to put the broth in there. Yep, no. And then go to broccoli. Ooh, buddy. I'm going to wait a little little bit on the cabbage because it's there you go. I love it. I love it. I love listening. And I think we're also used to Chinese. Like, we have a Japanese place not far from here, Japanese steakhouse. And what I love about that place is that they have gluten-free soy sauce. So all of their soy sauce is gluten-free. So, hey, Mama Bear, haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're here. Of course, I was in and out for a while, so it happens. Alright, this is confit garlic that I made, and I didn't feel like chopping up a garlic clove today, so that's why we're having confit garlic. My dogs are going to have a field day because I dropped some of the cabbage. Alright, so I'm going to stir that garlic in with the rest of the food. Alright, and if you're new here, tell us where you're watching from, because we love to know. We love to know. So, dropping some soy sauce here, some tamari. And that'll be all I'll use for salt-wise, because that'll be more than enough. I mean, for Mr. 513. He'll add hot sauce. I bought an onion chili crisp that he really likes. Really spicy, but he likes it a lot. And I found a no-heat mild chili garlic crunch from Momofuku, and it doesn't have, from what I can tell, it doesn't have anything in it that has gluten. So I'm going to give that a try. Pour the meat back in. Mix that lid. Then I'm going to add, I love sesame oil, toasted sesame oil, so I am going to add a drizzle to that. It's so funny. I watch cooking shows a lot. Not so much as much as I used to, because I'm here with you guys in the afternoon. But I still watch them. And I have watched people like just dunk sesame oil into things, and I'm like, oh good lord, you have no idea what you've just done. And they're chefs sometimes, and I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. I like sesame oil, and that would be too much for me. So, alright, let's grab our noodles. Like I said, if you weren't here when I was cooking them, these are chickpea noodles. So, they look like noodles, they chew like noodles. I love it. I gotta find some, what I can't find, and I think I'm going to have to go to the like major international market because the Asian market doesn't have it. So, but we have a market that has food from all over the world, and I think I'm going to have to go there to try to find some gluten-free hoisin sauce because I miss being able to use hoisin sauce in my food. So. Okay. A good flavor going there, guys. Pretty excited. So, yeah, I understand, Mama Bear. There's a whole lot of people going through a whole lot of stuff. No judgment at all. We just missed you, that's all. And we're glad you're here. That's why IT guy's not here, because our middle son and his wife are going through something right now, and IT guy's keeping an eye on that homestead for him. So, I'm going to turn that off. Oh gosh, no, I'm not. cabbage. So we'll cook that for a couple of minutes. With the cabbage. It'll put a little bit of moisture in there too. So I like it when it's colorful. Like I said, this is when I wish I liked like red peppers. That would look so pretty in there. But I got my orange in there from the carrot. So my stir fries always look very green. Everybody likes the green veggies. I'm going to pull out some of the noodles here. Just put those in the bottom. If they clump up a little bit. Grab some of the goodies. And I like the veggies still crunchy. Mr. 513, not so much. You will be delighted that things are a little softer. One thing my watch does fizzle. So it'll be quieter that way. It's off. So we can do that. Now if I really wanted to embarrass myself, not really. I know how to use chopsticks. My aunt moved here when I was 7. She taught me back in the day how to use them. I can use them. I'm not going to today. So thank you. I did forget the cabbage. Thanks, Joe. Oh, you guys are awesome. I swear. Keep me on track, man. Thought I had it all together, but oh, would help if I took the plastic off, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's try this. I'm gonna put the last stuff I got, I put way too much on. Whoo! Mama! Took a bite, thought I was gonna croak. Have my drink close by, just in case I need it. You know what? I am gonna use, just because it's, honestly, to eat lo mein, it's easier to eat with chopsticks for me. Now, the hardest part is, because we have a lot of chopsticks, is finding 2 of them that are the same. I don't like the slippery ones, which is funny because my daughter-in-law, being Korean, Koreans pretty much use stainless steel. Now, they do have, like, stuff cut into them to make it easier to catch things, but I'm just used to eating lo mein this way, especially with the veggies and stuff, so. Okay, that's just, broccoli's just how I like it. That's why I like using frozen. You don't have to cook it as long, even though it's uncooked. Yep, I know Joan's got a lot on her plate too, so everything seems to be cooked the way I like it. Let's give this, okay, I'm going to stir this up just because I don't want to just take the oil off the top. Tell you what, I want to make this. I really do. I've seen a couple of recipes. One's for just crispy garlic. One is crispy garlic and onion. So I've got to just sit down and figure out. It's a little scary because it's like really hot oil. So I would have to be really, really careful. So I think when we kind of keep that in mind, that we've all been through or are going through a lot. And sometimes we just don't know. Because I will tell you, Ruby, the more I keep finding out about what's going on in Indiana, I'm just like, it breaks my heart. Saw something today that Gary, Indiana has been without power for 9 days now. What a mess up there. So let's see if this is any good. Oh, wow. Yay. It is so good. For those who may not have been around when I figured it out, I had another brand of chili crunch. It was actually crispy garlic. And I didn't realize it was made with soy sauce powder, so I was glutening myself, and I was wondering why my stomach was hurting all the time. So, daggone it. So anyway, yeah, there were pictures on my feed today of what it looks like in Gary, Indiana. It's such a mess. They really got hit hard with that weather. It was really weird, you guys. You know how, I know Joan gets hurricanes, we get tornadoes, but like this weather came across and then it just went straight down Indiana. And we just kind of got the tail end of it. Because I'm at the southern end of Ohio. It was just wild. So, the veg is great. The cabbage is a little crunchy because, you know, I forgot. My first piece of meat. There is just something, you know, people say you can't get that, you cannot get that, that texture of meat that Chinese restaurants do. That's the secret, is the velveting. And it's so much, I could have let it cook a little bit longer and get a little more of a crust. Or if I put more oil in, it would have had more of a crust, but I like it softer. So, but it does, it has that like texture on the outside, that yummy, like it tastes like it's almost breaded, but not quite. And that's what velveting does for you. So, I was wondering if you were in the part of the state that really affected, Christy. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I used to watch the come on, the bakery show, Buddy. Anyway, he's from New Jersey. He's a baker. All I can think of is Charm City Cakes, and that's Duff Goldman down in Maryland. But anyway, so, more hard rain, yuck. But they showed the damage to, I think one of their homes got damaged really badly, and their like warehouse was a mess. So, and I was in Charleston 3 weeks before. This was back in the late 80s, before Hugo. And Hugo did a number on Charleston, South Carolina. And I can't remember. I have not been back to Louisiana since Katrina either. New Orleans, I haven't been back to. I've been down to that area, but not to New Orleans. So, yeah, I can only imagine, because you guys aren't really used to it, so you don't have the relief in place either when you have something like that. But so, well, and yeah, it just kind of depends on where you are too, because I know where was it? Somewhere in Arizona lost power recently, and I know people can say that we're spoiled because we have air conditioning, but I'm sorry, y'all. When it's 107 degrees out, if you can't find somewhere to go that has air conditioning, it's just brutal. It's awful. So, Yeah, as a matter of fact, the velveting, I learned that from my kids. So they clued me in on that. So, but this is so good, you guys. It's so good. I'm so healthy. But also, just so you know, if you haven't noticed, my one eye closes when I eat. I have facial paralysis, and that's why that does that. So, if you ever wondered, now you know. But yeah, we've all, you know, I mean, I have been through floods. I've been through tornadoes. I've been through, luckily, nothing I own has ever been damaged by a tornado, but just people I know have. We've helped out after tornadoes. We've volunteered, stuff like that. So, you know, there's just a lot of people going through a lot of stuff because of just simple weather sometimes. And like I said, 9 days without electricity in this kind of weather that we've had. Fortunately, it's been a little bit cooler. I think it has where you guys are too, but I would love to have y'all over for dinner. You know that. But anyway, yeah, so as much as we can, let's just be kind. I know there are unkind people out there. And this one stops me in my tracks a lot. Somebody one time said, and I wish I could remember who to attribute this to, but somebody said, when you are unkind to unkind people, you become one of them. And I was like, doggone it. And that doesn't mean you don't stand up for what's right, but there's a great way to deal with that. So anyway, I get what you're saying, Joan. We're like that with tornado watches. We're like, whatever. Nobody really pays attention to a watch. And it used to be the only time you heard the sirens was when there was a tornado warning. Well, now they do it for thunderstorms. So people don't always listen to that. But we all, you know, a lot of people have weather radios and you wait for it, and it actually came on my phone and it said, get to shelter now. So that was interesting. And I could tell the dogs were messed up, so I knew the weather was bad. But, so I'm kind of a weather geek. I love watching all this stuff and learning all this stuff. And because we were talking the other day, the hurricane that hit Hawaii, a friend of mine, she showed a picture, and it was a spot where they had been, like literally the week before. They had their family vacation. She lives in California. They had their family vacation in Hawaii. And there was a picture of her and her husband in front of this beautiful little falls. You know, it's about maybe 8 to 10 feet wide. Really, you know, beautiful Hawaii falls, right? A week later, there was a picture of exactly where she was standing. And it was a raging set of falls. It was wild to look at. And then also Kilauea is always erupting, right? But the hot weather rising and the cold weather of the hurricane coming over it, it was creating these, like, what in the West they would call dust devils, but they called them some other kind of devil. But it's literally taking the dusty lava, and it's red. So it's like, they're little, like, red, dusty lava tornadoes. And I was like, oh, that's not terrifying at all, is it? Who wants a lava tornado? So, anyway. Oh, we are really early today. We're done. I finished it all. I encourage you. Listen, stir fries are the easiest thing to make. And if you're intimidated by rice, you can buy the 90-second rice. Works great in a stir fry. Honestly, it does. We do it all the time. It's not the best rice you're ever going to have, but I would suggest that if you want it to be a little more, and this is the truth, if you want it to be more like the restaurant, add a little, I use a little bit of sesame oil, and you can also add a neutral oil. I wouldn't drizzle it with olive oil, but like a more neutral oil. I know some people don't like seed oils, that's up to you, but that gives it a little more authentic finish, if you will. So anyway, I think we've kind of exhausted what we're making today, and I am going to get to eating before it gets cold, and I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful day, an even better evening, and I will, oh, yes, I will not be here on Monday. I have a meeting at 5:30. I'm actually having dinner with two of my dearest friends. I don't like to call them my oldest friends. We're kind of at that age where we don't want to say my oldest friend. But these two women I've been friends with since junior high. I met them when I was 12. And we've been friends ever since. So I'm really looking forward to seeing my friends. Haven't seen them in a long, long time. And so we are having, well, there you go. You're a snow bunny, huh, Mama Bear? A snow bear? Anyway, so I will not be here on Monday. We will do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. I was thinking about Friday, but it's a holiday weekend, so I think I'm going to skip that. So we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. IT guy will be back on Wednesday, so even if I have problems, he'll be able to fix them while he's here. And hopefully everything will go like it did today on Tuesday. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I will see you guys on Tuesday. And thanks for being here. It's really been a fun day, and I really appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Have a great one. Yeah, much needed for me too, Mama Bear. Yeah, I love the tornadoes. Crazy business. So y'all have a really, really wonderful evening. Great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.